Now, finally, I'm going to start today's demo session. So, on behalf of Stuck Soft Center, I would like to welcome you all guys in this introductory or demo session for the upcoming live training program under the title of Designing of Complete Structure by using Etabs, Rcdc and Advanced Excel. So before of getting into actual part of discussion, I am going to consider here that whatever the people, those who are going to attend this demo session, there are different categories. So very first category I am going to consider here, there are some viewers of this demo are actually the students, those who are pursuing their bachelor's and masters, and they are coming here to watch this demo with the intention to learn the software, to learn the real practice, and they are having interest to become a professional structural engineer in the future. They are having the interest in the structural design field and they want to learn the software, they want to learn the real practice. So for that purpose they are coming here. So I am expecting that there are one category of the participants in this demo session which is belonging to the category first. Another category I am going to expect here, there are some site engineers, those who have completed their academic, they have completed their bachelor's, masters, and after that they are working on site. But now they are having the interest to change their work profile from site engineer to the design engineer, from the site engineer to structural design field. So this I am going to consider the second category amongst all of you. And the third category, which is what those who have completed their bachelor's, masters, and they are in the design field, but they are new. They are not having that much confidence to deal with the software. They are not much having the confidence to deal with the real example projects. Although they are in the design field, but they are not having that much experience. They might have learned the software. They might have learned to design the structure from the from the YouTube, from any basic courses where they have learned only the commands of the software, and that's why they are not having the that much experience, that much confidence to deal the software. And from the academic times they have not learned the actual concept of structural design. So overall they are weak in the structural design field. And the third category I am going to expect here as the experienced person, those who are having the work experience in the design field about 10 to 15 to 20 years. But why they need to have come here? If they have that much experience, so why they have need to come here? So actually they are doing the work, they are doing the design work, they are doing their analysis and design work, scheduling work by manual approach, by conventional approach, by taking the help of the simple softwares, basic softwares. So they are actually coming here to upgrade their skills with a new trending software so that they can reduce the work, they can reduce the time of the completion of their work, time of completion of their project. So I'm going to expect here, these are the different categories actually present here. So I would like to ask a question from all of you guys. Kindly write in the chat box from which category you are belonging to. Just write in the chat box, please. Yes, many of the people are writing in the chat box. Just write in the chat box, please, from which category you are belonging to, please. Actually I want active participation. One side conversation I don't want to have. So please give your active presence and write in the chat box from which category you are belonging to. Very good, very good. Most of you are writing, some of you are writing as a category first, they are students. So that's very fantastic thing. If you are coming here, you are thinking about your career and your right place. Okay, many of you are writing as site engineer and they are having the interest to change their career from site to design. So you are right place. Yeah, very good. Some of you are writing as they are new in the design field. Okay, your problem is also going to be solved. Okay, fine. So now finally we are going to understand what are the some important things that will make you a professional structural engineer. What are the things which any structural engineer should have if suppose he want to become? So there are four important things as per the current scenario, as per the industry requirement. Okay, so it may be in your experience, if suppose you are going to ask for the job, so they will ask not about first thing what you have completed, what concepts you are having. If you are going to ask for the job, the very first question the interviewer or the job provider will ask, the first question, how many softwares you are knowing. This is what the current scenario and current industry demand. How many softwares you are knowing. So your first responsibility and first job is to know what are the softwares are available in the market and what are their utility, what are their application, for what purpose the different softwares are available for different purposes. So there are Etabs software, there are CSI Safe software, Breeze software, Stat Pro software. Lot of softwares are actually available in the market, and their utility and their applications are totally different. If suppose you are going to design the steel structure, so the software will be different. If you are going to design the RCC structure, the software will be different. If you would like to do the scheduling and detailing, so software will be different. Try to understand. So your job is to find out what are the software actually available, and wherever you are going to work, that company which software is going to use. This is what for those who are those who have actually decided where they have to go. But those who are pursuing their bachelor, masters, or those who are new in the field of structural design, so for them it is important to learn many of the softwares so that they will be versatile to do any kind of the project. Hope that you can understand. So very first demand as per the current scenario, that is what having the skills to deal with the software in software, and learning of the software only not the solution. Why I'm telling you, I will let you know later. So very first is the software. Now second demand and second important thing that will make you a professional structural engineer is the having the concept of structural response, concept of structural design. So what are the different types of the beams, what are the different types of the columns, what are the different types of the loads, okay, gravity loads, lateral loads, okay, what are the different grades, in which situation what grade of concrete we have to use. If suppose I'm going to design G+2 building, so what grade of concrete I should choose. If I'm going to deal with the G+5 floor building, so whether I need to consider only gravity load, whether I need to consider the lateral load, how my structure is going to be deformed under the lateral load, under the gravitational load, what will be the shear force diagram, what will be the bending moment diagram, what will happen if my structure is subjected to the lateral load, what is the concept of property modifier, what is the concept of stiffness modifier, okay, what is the earthquake loading, how the earthquake load is going to impact on the stability of the structure. Lot of things are there in respect of responsive concept of structure. So this is also you need to understand very well, then only you can use the software. You should be perfect in the in a calculation, mathematical calculation, manual calculation. Unless and until you are not aware with the manual calculation, you cannot use the software. Software is just a tool. If you are giving wrong input, software will definitely give you wrong output. If you are giving right input, software will give the right output. So unless and until you are not having the knowledge and concept, you cannot go with the software. You cannot properly use the software. You cannot understand the algorithm of the software. What does mean by the algorithm of the software? I will let you know later, right? So this is what the second important thing, having the knowledge of structural concepts. What does mean the flexural response of the structure? Okay, so this is the second thing. And my dear friend, the third important requirement is your design code. The third important requirement is what? Your design code. Without of following the design code, okay, you are going to make your structure uneconomical as well as unstable. Why? Try to understand. Some of the people, those who are new in the field of structural design, so what they are considering, if I'm going to provide the very large section size of the column, very large percentage of reinforcement, so my structure will be stable, my structure will be serviceable. Yeah, that will be. But the problem is what? You are going to make your structure uneconomical. Sometimes the people, what they are doing, they are trying to make economical, very, very economical. So what they are doing, they are providing the less reinforcement, they are providing the less sections, they are providing a less number of column beams. In that situation, what is going to become? You are going to make your structure unstable and less serviceability you are going to maintain with your structure. Again, this is a problematic. So this economy as well as stability of the structure you can achieve at the same time by following the recommendations were made by your IS code. So you should know that what are the different IS codes are available, what are their utility, what are their clauses, where they have to implement, how to consider that clauses, that codes in your software, whatever you are going to use. If suppose you are going to use the Etabs software, so how to implement different clauses of IS code. In Etabs software, options are given. In codes, clauses are given. Then how to use that clauses in your Etabs software, many people they are actually not knowing. Many people they are actually not knowing how to implement that clauses in your Etabs software. Okay, so that is what very important. Interviewer will ask this question. Okay, and the most important requirement in respect of the current scenario, it doesn't matter whether you are knowing the software, whether you are knowing the basic concept, whether you are knowing the codes. If you are going to ask for the job, no one is going to give the chance. Why? The very important question they are asking, what they are asking about, how many year of experience you are having. Hope you all will agree my with my statement, right? So they are asking about what, how many year of experience you are having. So my dear friend, there's a one myth here. There is a one myth. What is that myth? We are considering the experience means counting of years. Counting of years. So my dear friend, experience doesn't mean to count the number of years. Experience, the interviewer is expecting that how many real projects you have completed on your own, how many real challenges you have completed, you have tackled on your own. There are a lot of real challenges, lot of important decisions we have to take when we are going to take the real example project. Lot of, like, what are the different, what are the grade of concrete I have to use, how to read the architectural drawing, how to design. If suppose you are going to ask for the job, last question, the most important question, they are asking about how many year of experience you are having. And if you are failing to give the answer that what number of year of experience you are having, you will lose the opportunity to get the job, right? So the meaning of experience is the meaning of actually dealing the real challenges, real problems. Hope that you can understand. So this is what the four important thing. So my dear friend, here you all come to know, you can understand that what are the four requirements. If suppose you want to become a professional structural engineer, the very first is the design software. If you are not having the skill to deal with the software, to understand the algorithm of the software, then what will happen? You will lose the opportunity. Second, the basic concept. And the third is your design codes. Third is what? Actually your design code. And the fourth and the most important is your experience. If you are weak in any of the area, my dear friend, so you will lose the opportunity to get the job. You will lose the opportunity to start your own firm, your consultancy, if suppose you are planning for that. Okay, so these are the four areas you have to get the command over. So here I would like to ask a simple question. Just let me know, do you have the command over all these four requirements? Just write in the chat box. Do you have the command over all of these four requirements? Write in the chat box, please. Yeah. Okay. No. Yagnik say no. Okay. Let's say no. No. Pratik, almost most of you are answering as no. Okay. Very one or two participants have written as yes. Okay, fine. Write in the chat box. I would like to have your active participation. Please write in the chat box. Somewhat. Okay, fine. You may be good in some area. You may be not good in some area. That is also fine. No issue. Okay, done. So, okay, fine, good. So most of you have given the answer as no. So my dear friend, if you are not having the confidence with all of these areas where you have to get the command, so don't worry. We are bringing this live training program for you all, which is going to solve the problem of that all requirement. That is going to solve the problem for all that requirements. So this is what actually the training program for the designing of complete structure by using Etabs, Rcdc, and advanced Excel. That's why we have taken the combination of these three elements, which is actually required for the completion of any project from basic to from start to end. If suppose you want to design the complete structure, these three elements are very important. And in this, with this training program, all that requirements for all different categories of the people, and for all different four requirements, it is going to be that is going to be solved by this training program only, right? All that software knowledge, design codes, real example projects, okay, that is going to be completed by this training program. And if you are from any of this category, your problem is going to be solved with this training program. Hope that you can understand. Now, without wasting time, further we are going to understand what topics and what things actually we are going to cover in this training program in deep. So basically, this training program is consisting of 3 levels. We are going to cover 3 levels in this training program itself. Okay, so there will be the beginner level, there will be the intermediate level, and there will be what? Your advanced level. So 3 levels we are going to cover in this training program by the intention that a person who is going to complete this training program, then in future he should not have the any need to look at any other training program for the Etabs software as well as for any of the software for the designing of the structure if you have completed this training program. That's why we have included all these 3 level in once. So let's try to understand what topics we are going to cover in this beginner level. So in the beginner level, we are going to cover the all about the software. In the first beginner level, we are going to talk about the software. My dear friend, it may be in your experience, if suppose you are going to, if you are planning to use any new software, if you are planning to practice with any new software, so you will have some kind of fear. Fear means what? What will be the user interface? What will be the settings? What are the different options? If I'm going to click over any option, what will happen in result of that? So okay, so that is what the problem, and that is one kind of fear. So we are trying to resolve that fear from this beginner level. So we will let you know what is the user interface of this Etabs software, what are the basic settings of the Etabs software, what are the different commands of the Etabs software. Okay, thereafter we are going to do the validation with Etabs software. What does mean by the validation of Etabs software? If suppose, as I earlier told you, software is just a tool. If you are giving wrong input, software will give you wrong output. So if you are giving right input, software should give the right output. So we are going to validate the result by the manual calculation. So we are going to take the simple examples, and we are going to model that element and structure in the Etabs software. We are assigning the load and we are checking the analysis result, whether my calculation, manual calculation, or whether the Etabs results are matching or not, whether Etabs results are matching or not. If it is matching, then what? Then means what? The software is okay. If it is not matching, then we are trying to find out where is the problem. In our definition is there a problem, or in Etabs software there is a problem. So that is called as validation. So in the beginner level itself, we will do the validation. My dear friend, this is very important. Many times the people are contacting with us from any of the other channel, like from YouTube or any other sources. They are contacting with us and they are saying that we have learned from the YouTube or from any other platform, and we are not having the confidence. Why they have not the confidence? Because of this validation. They are not knowing. They are just blindly going to trust over the software. So that is what the wrong thing. Unless you are validating the software. So we will include in the beginner level itself this stage. Thereafter, we are going to talk about the commands of the software. Unless you are not understanding the commands of the software, you cannot do the modeling. Modeling is a very important stage for the completion of the project. Without of creating the model, you cannot predict the response of the structure, right? So for the modeling, how to define the material property, how to define the section property, how to set the bar settings, bar list, okay, how to edit the modeled structure, how to eliminate the member, how to define the member, okay, one story concept, all story concepts, how to assign the loads, point loads, live load, like area load, what are the different elements, frame element, shell element, okay, what does mean by membrane element, what does mean by the shell element, what are the axis system, okay, local axis system, global axis system, natural axis system, what it means, what does mean the set display option, and very important, what are the different file formats of Etabs software. Very important point. Many times people are confused. If suppose you want to share your file with another person, so they are getting confused which file I have to share. Sometimes people are asking, sir, which version of Etabs software I should install, I should download, whether the version of the software will matter in dealing with the software or not. So people are actually not knowing the basic thing. These are the basic thing. You may also have this kind of questions in your mind. Sir, which version I should download, which version should be more effective and convenience to use, whether the versions of the software will matters the analysis result, design results or not, and then we are answering to them, and then they are getting satisfied. So these are the basic things we are going to cover in this level, where we are going to cover the commands of the software and the different important things. And my dear friend, the next thing we are going to take in this beginner level only, one sample project. Sample project means it is the dummy project. It is not the real project. It is not the real project. It is the dummy project. Now, why we have taken this dummy project? Because we are making your comfort and confidence to create your model. We are going to go in deep, in very deep for the modeling of the beam. What are the different options are given for the modeling of the beam, for the assigning of the loads, to rectify the modeling error, to rectify the analysis error. Many people, those who are practicing with the Etabs software since from 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, they are also not knowing how to rectify the analysis error, how to rectify the analysis error. That we will also discuss in our training program, how to rectify the analysis error. Modeling error you will find on YouTube also, but how to deal the analysis error, okay, that we are going to cover in our training program. Okay, so here with this sample project, we are going to make your comfort to deal with the software. And my dear friend, after the the objective of this beginner level is to make the confidence in the participant. They should get familiar with the software, whatever the fear he's actually having. So we have to remove that fear. And once the beginner level gets completed, now you will be ready to deal any kind of real example project. You will be ready to deal any real kind of real example project. And that we are going to start in the intermediate level. In the intermediate level, we are going to start the real example project, and all the real challenges, all the real problems we are going to tackle in the intermediate level. In the intermediate level, so we are going to properly follow the steps that the professional structural engineers are following to complete any project. So like other training center, we are not going to take some dummy project. We are not going to take a dummy project, simple as dummy project, doing the modeling, assigning of the load, performing the analysis and design. That's it. Member are passing, that is the matter closed. No, that level of learning we are not going to cover in our training program. Okay, in our training program, this kind of real example project, it is the project of one of the metropolitan city. Okay, so we are going to take a medium rise structure up to 10-12 floor building, and that we are going to cover in our training program. Then we will let you know how to read the architectural drawing, how to read the architectural drawing. Okay, lot of things are there while when you are going to be do the reading of the architectural drawing. What is the architectural arrangement? What is the floor to floor height? Okay, what type of building is there based on in-plan geometry, whether it is a orthogonal, non-orthogonal, what does mean by the orthogonal, what does mean the non-orthogonal building, what to do if at the ground level parking is there, what to do, what means how you will come to know what type of the parking is there. There are different types of the parking. What to do if there is a overhead water tank. Okay, so lot of things are there to understand from the architectural drawing. If you are not properly understanding the architectural drawing, then there is the problem. Try to understand. If you are not properly understanding the architectural drawing, you cannot create your correct model. People are not getting this point. If you are not understanding the architectural drawing, you cannot clearly prepare the structural framing plan. If you are not preparing correct structural framing plan, your model will be wrong, then analysis wrong, then design wrong, then everything will be wrong. Okay, so everything will be basically what? Wrong. So to correct that, very first step, you should have the knowledge how to read the architectural drawing. After reading of this architectural drawing, see this kind of project we are taking. Simple geometry project we are not going to take. We are going to take the complicated architectural drawing. After all of that, after all of that, we are going to prepare the structural framing plan. Now, what does mean the structural framing plan? The structural framing plan means we are going to position the column. We are going to position the beams. We are going to decide the positioning of the column beams, its orientation, its alignment, whether the column will be vertical, whether the column will be horizontal. That is needed to know. And on what basis, very important, note it down. On what basis you can decide the column position, on what basis you can design the column orientation. That is what the very, very important, interesting concept. And these concepts you will learn when you are going to spend at least 1 to 2 years in consultancy. If you are going to work in any of the consultancy, and if you are going to spend the work, spend the time about 1 to 2 years, then only you will come to know how to prepare the structural framing plan with the right positioning of the column, with the right orientation of the column, with the right preliminary sizes of the column and beam. This will come after the after practicing, after dealing the real project, and that things we are going to talk in our training program. In this training program, I will let you know proper guidance. I'm going to talk in respect of, in the light of expert recommendation, in the light of codal recommendation, and with my experience also, we are going to talk about how you can decide the column position and orientation. Everything we are going to discuss in detail. So after that, you will come to know if you are going to assign for any architectural drawing, for any project. So you can decide whether my column should be horizontal or whether my column should be vertical, or whether my column should be inclined. Okay, then you also have the knowledge and skill about how to decide the preliminary size of the column and size of the beam, size of the slab, size of the shear wall. Now you may ask a question, sir, without of designing, how we can decide the size of the column? Without of till now we have not completed the design, then how we can decide? So that's why we are calling it to as preliminary sizes. This is what preliminary sizes. So preliminary sizes is required to start your work, to start the work with the Etabs software for the modeling. Unless and until you are not deciding the preliminary size, you cannot start the modeling. Now, preliminary size, how to decide? It is another skill, another a very important point. And there are some recommendation to decide the preliminary sizes of the column, beam, shear wall, and slab element. That practical thumb rules we are going to cover in our training program, right? How to decide the preliminary size, how to proceed with the simple calculation to decide the size of the column. If suppose I am giving a simple, so after the successful preparation of a structural framing plan, the next step is to have the grid lines over the structural framing plan, and these grid lines we have to draw in the Etabs software also. Then only you can start the work in Etabs. And to draw the grid lines in the Etabs software, we are actually having three options, three methods. One is your offset point method, another one is the Etabs template method, and third one is the export and import method. Export and import methods, these are the three methods. Now you may ask a question, sir, what to do with these methods? Either I have to go with the offset point method, either I have to go with the Etabs template option, or either I have to go with the export and import method. So their utility is based on the type of the project. Normally, for your kind information, this offset point method is not used by any of the consultant. Mainly we are using Etabs templates to draw the grids in Etabs software. Another one is the export and import method. So if your architectural drawing is simple one, that is not much complicated, in that situation we are adopting this option to have the grids in your Etabs software. But if your architectural drawing is not that much that much simple, if it is supposed complicated, in that situation what we are adopting export and import option. Let's try to understand. Suppose your architectural drawing is what, like this. So it is not the easiest one, it is a very complicated one. If you are trying to draw the grids over the architectural drawing like this, here it is the simple building. Okay, so the grids is what, vertical everywhere, in horizontal direction, vertical direction. So here it is easy for me to draw the grids, to draw the reference grids. But if you are asking me to draw the grids for this kind of project, if you are asking me to draw the grids for this kind of project, let's try to understand for this kind of project. If suppose you are asking to draw the grids, so I will completely refuse this idea. Why? It is because it is very, very difficult. In that situation, we have to draw the center line plan. Now it is the new term. What does the center line plan? How to draw the center line plan? So my dear friend, that we will discuss in our training program, how to draw the center line plan. And in that situation, directly this architectural drawing center line plan we can directly import in the Etabs software. So how to do that? we will cover in detail. Okay, now after all of that, then we are going to start the modeling of the column, defining the material properties, setting out the different things in the Etabs software to proceed with the project. Lot of things we are going to do with the project for the modeling of the column. After the successful modeling of the column, we are going to do the modeling of the beam. Then how to draw the curved beam, inclined beam, different types of the beam, how to ensure the connection between the beam and column, then how to do the modeling with a one story option, similar story option, and all story option. What is the what are the chances of the problems and doing the mistake while doing the modeling? Everything we are going to cover in detail in our training program. Thereafter, we will let you know how to do the modeling of the slab, how to do the modeling of the shear wall, how to do the modeling of the staircase. Very interesting. Normally what we are doing, there are three options, there are three methods to consider the staircase in your structure by the consultant. The real project consultant or real practicing consultant, what they are doing, they are adopting three approaches for considering the staircase load in your structure. Very first is actual modeling of the staircase. Second one is, instead of actual modeling of the staircase, what they are doing, they are going to model the normal slab. And in the third situation, they are not going to model the staircase, they are not going to model the slab, they are directly going to do the calculation separately, and that calculated value is going to be assigned to the supporting member. So these three options of considering the staircase in your structure, we are going to cover in our training program, all these three methods. So after this training program, means everything you are knowing as that of real project consultant, right? Thereafter, we will let you know what is the concept of the moment releases, what is the concept of torsion releases, what are the different types of the movements, what are the different types of the torsions, what are the types of the releases, why it is needed to release the torsion, why it is needed to release the torsion, which clause, which code is recommending to release the torsion, in which situation you can release the torsion. Okay, how to implement in Etabs software, that will also let you know in detail. After all of that, my dear friend, we are going to finally assign the load over the structure. We are going to finally assign the load over the structure, and in assigning of the load, there are different types of the loads, like point load, frame load, and area load. Okay, and like many things will be there in respect of assigning of the load. If you are not assigning the load, definitely your structure is not going to be properly analyzed and designed. So how to assign the load, that we'll discuss. And most important, that mainly we are not discussed in many of the trainings, that is what, how to do the calculation for the lift load, lift machine room, lift load, how to do the calculation. So I will let you know by proper demonstration of the lift, and how to do the calculation, we will let you know by manually and then by taking the help of Excel sheet. And after doing that calculation, we will assign that load in our proposed structure. Likewise, I will let you know how to do the calculation for the overhead water tank, how to do the calculation for the overhead water tank, and then how to assign in the structure. Okay, that will also let you know in detail. So with all of this study, we are going to assign the load over our proposed structure. And after that, my dear friend, we are going to perform the analysis. And after the analysis, you should have an idea how to validate whether all the assigned loads are properly transferred to the member or not. Assigning of the load to the structure is not only the way. You should have the idea, whether you should have the knowledge how to cross check, how to validate whatever the load I have assigned to the structure, whether that all load were transferred to the member or not, whether that all load were transferred to the supporting member or not. I should check that. I should have an idea for that, whether the loads are properly transferring from column to column or not. It is what our general idea and general concept. On the top floor level, loading will be less. At the bottom floor level, loading will be more. So whether this is what right or wrong, whether this value we are getting or not. For simply supported beam, the bending moment diagram should be like this. For the fixed beam, the bending moment diagram will be like this. Now, if suppose I am getting the bending moment diagram like this, so why this is coming like this? Whether it is right or wrong. If it is right, why it is right? In what situation you will get this kind of bending moment diagram, shear force diagram? Many people are not knowing actually these things. So we will discuss that things in deep, whether properly these analysis values are coming or not. is there any problem, and if there is a problem, then how to rectify. Getting? So with that level of study we are going to cover. Thereafter, next part we are going to see a designing of the structure. Now the most and most important thing about the designing of the structure, okay, like people are not knowing, if suppose you are going to use the software, how to set the parameter so that the design results you will get as per your expectation. Design results you will get as per your expectation. So there are different options. Which option you should take? Whether the considered eccentricity should be yes or no. If it is yes, then why it is yes? Which clause is saying that it should be yes? Whether p delta analysis is needed to consider or not? If it is no, why it is no? If I am going to make it as yes, why it should be yes? If I am making it as yes, so what impact will be there in the analysis result, in the design results? Pattern lie load factor, mainly people are not knowing. Even I have asked this question to many people, those who are having the experience of 5 to 10 years, and I'm asking this question, what value it should be. If you are going to find in the Etabs software, this by default value will be 0.75, but normally 0.75 we are not adopting, we are taking it as 0. Why we are taking it as 0? Which clause is saying to consider it as 0? Who will let you know? So that we will let you know how to why we are considering as 0, why we are not going to consider 0.75. And if suppose you are going to take 0.75, in which situation you can take 0.75, everything we are going to cover. So with every of the action, we should know the reason. Blindly we are not going to practice with the software. Then when to consider the ordinary beam, when to consider the ductile framing, when to consider the ordinary framing, when to consider non-sway framing, what will be the impact of this ordinary, ductile and non-sway on your design result. If you are going to choose ordinary, what will happen in the design result? If you are going to choose the non-sway, what will happen in the design result? Which is going to be affected? Either your column is going to be affected, either your beam is going to be affected. What element is going to be affected? Either your shear wall is going to be affected. When to modify this effective length factor? What does it mean by the sway, non-sway, major, minor? This is what the real things. This is what will make you a professional structural engineer and confident structural engineer. And my dear friend, the design of the column where mainly depends on the decision that you are going to made for the ordinary, ductile and non-sway. Here earlier what we have seen, here earlier given that what ordinary or what framing type you would like to choose. So if you are choosing the ordinary, so K factor, this is the most important factor for the designing of the column. Your design requirement for the column is mainly depends on the K factor, and K factor where depends on the ordinary, ductile, non-sway. So if you would like to understand how the Etabs software is going to calculate the K factor, you need to know the algorithm of the software. In the beginning of this demo session, I said that you should have the idea of what is the algorithm of the software. So my dear friend, algorithm of the software means how the software is going to proceed, what values the software is going to calculate, what assumptions the software is going to adopt. This is called as algorithm. You are going to design in particular beam. I am also going to design the same beam. So your design result will be different. My design result will be different. So what is the difference? Design is safe. Your design is also safe. My design is also safe. But design will be different. Why this is different? Your algorithm is different. Algorithm is your assumptions, your consideration, your equations, what approach you are going to follow. And my assumption, my approach, my equation, my calculation is slightly different. So consideration is different. So this is what two different algorithms. So likewise, software is also one person we are going to consider. Okay, so its algorithm is different. So we need to know what is the algorithm of the Etabs software. Because we have to be compatible with the software. That's why we need to know the algorithm of the software, right? So that you need to know. Now after that, my dear friend, we are going to perform the design. And in design, again, lot of things needed to understand. Whatever the values are, suppose here coming, what does mean by these values, these digits? Some values are coming above the beam, some values are coming below the beam. What does mean by that? For the column, what values are coming? Whether all the members are passing the design check or not? If suppose any member failing, then what to do? Lot of things are there for the discussion of the design. Okay, so in that way we will complete the design. So actually the main thing that should that you should suggest to check the problem of failure. To check what? Problem of failure. How? Without of knowing the problem, okay, without of knowing the problem, how you are giving the solution? Am I right or wrong? Write in the chat box. Am I right or wrong? Without of knowing the problem, how you are suggesting the solution? So we first need to check what is the cause of failure, and to know the cause of failure, you should have an idea. You should have an idea to read the design report of the column. You should have an idea to read the design report of the column. And again, unless you are not knowing the algorithm of the software, you cannot read the you cannot understand the design report of the column. It is not only for the column, different elements as shear wall also, right? So that's why you should have an idea how to design your element, right? Thereafter, my dear friend, we will let you know whether the software is properly calculating the reinforcement or not. Minimum reinforcement for column, maximum reinforcement for column, and spacing criteria. All that codal recommendation we are going to see in Etabs software, whether your Etabs software is properly following your code or not, whether the software is doing it right or wrong. If there is a problem, then we are trying to correct that problem. After that complete and this stage, what we are doing, we are taking the help of Excel. We are having next level of Excel sheet, very advanced level of Excel sheet, that is what capable of cross checking of your Etabs results for your beam, for your column, for your slab, for your long column, short column, for your and for different for different elements. We are having different Excel sheets, and that all Excel sheets we are going to use in our training program. And my dear friend, this all Excel sheet we are going to provide in this training program. Those who are going to join this training program, we will provide this bunch of Excel sheet to all of that participants. So please don't ask this question later on whether you will provide the Excel sheet or not. We are definitely providing these Excel sheets. Okay, so this is also another part of discussion for in our training program. And with that, we are going to like complete this intermediate level and this project, but this is not the end. This is not the end. After the completion of the design, you are not going to send the design report or design model on your site. We are not going to send the model on site. Then what we are sending on site? We are sending out the schedule and details. We are sending the schedule and detail on site. And this kind of sheets we have to prepare. This is called as design sheets. And how to prepare these sheets, how to prepare the schedule of column, how to prepare the schedule of beam, how to prepare the schedule of slab, everything we are going to cover. And then finally we are going to prepare the schedule of beam, column, slab, foundation, shear wall, staircase, everything we are going to cover. And with that we are going to prepare the schedule and detail. Now here a very important, very important problem we have to face. What is that? The time. Important problem that we have to face is actually the time. If I am assigning you for designing a G+5 floor building, for assigning if suppose I'm assigning to design the G+5 floor building, okay, and I'm asking to design it plus to prepare the schedule and detail completely. Okay, so up to a design stage, okay, we are not going to talk about up to the design stage. Once the design gets completed, if I'm asking to prepare the schedule and detail, so it will take hell lot of time. It will take a hell lot of time to complete the design. To prepare the schedule and detail, right? So there is a what problem, and the solution to this problem we can find with the STAD Rcdc software. This is what the solution. So if suppose you are going to prepare the schedule and detail manually for G+5 floor building, so it takes about 5 to 6 hours. It takes 5 to 6 hours. And if you are going to practice with the STAD Rcdc software, so that time will be reduced to 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Within a 30 minutes, you can complete that project for the scheduling and detailing. That is the power of this Rcdc software, and that's why we have included in our training program, and it's a well demanding software in the market and in the industry, right? So here basically what we are going to talk about: the design of beam element, design of column element, design of slab element, detailing of beam, detailing of column, detailing of slab. Everything we are going to cover in deep. Let's see. If suppose I'm asking to draw this drawing, will you able to draw this drawing in CAD in 20 minutes? Will you able to do this? Just let me know. Chat box, right or no? Yes or no? Can you do this detailing in 20 minutes, 30 minutes? No, you cannot do. It takes hell lot of time. If I'm asking to do the detailing like this for the slab, let's see. Will you able to do this in 10 minutes? Okay. So you cannot do this kind of work in just of 2 minutes, in just of 10 minutes or 20 minutes. But your RCDC software is capable to do within a minute. You have to click over the button. Once you click over the button, software will finally give you your design report and schedule and detail. This kind of very complicated detail of the each individual beam, irrespective of a number of beam, whatever the number of beam, within a short period of time, your detailing is going to be done. Your detailing is what going to be done. So hope that you all understood. In this way, we are going to use this RCDC software. Okay. So with this is what finally the things we are going to cover in this. Okay, foundation we are also going to cover. Okay, now here very important things to understand. Many people may have the doubt whether the RCDC results and Etabs results are matching or not. Sometimes Etabs giving the another reinforcement and RCDC is giving another reinforcement. Am I right or wrong? Do you have the problem with this? Write in the chat box. Those who are having this question. RCDC will give the same result as that of your Etabs. I have practiced. Column is giving more result in Etabs or in RCDC. No results are matching. So my dear friend, you are not aware with the algorithm of Etabs and RCDC. We have a research. Okay, we have done a lot of work to match the result for the Etabs and RCDC. So there should be some knowledge. You should have the understanding of algorithm. What parameters have to control in RCDC software. In Etabs software, is suppose you would like to have the same results and right result, not the same, as well as right results. So some points for the beam, for the column, for the slab. So in our training program, I will let you know 100 means exactly matching of the result for different elements, beam, column, slab, foundation, everything, shear wall. Etabs result also giving the same result. RCDC giving the same result. That is my responsibility. We will give you proof design. Understood? Agreed with this? Hello, yes or no? That is our responsibility. Yes. Okay. Now throughout this intermediate level, for the completion of this real example project, we have our own written practical guidebook for the design of this complete RCC structure with the help of Etabs, RCDC and Advanced Excel. Okay. So we will let you know. We will share this practical book of guidebook for the designing of RCC structure. Okay. So this is also included in our training program, and in that way we are going to complete this intermediate level, and then finally we are moving towards the advanced level. We are moving towards the advanced level. So hope that you all understood in what is the objective of this intermediate level. The objective of this intermediate level is to actually make the participant capable to deal the real example project. The participant will become a familiar and confident to deal the real example projects. Okay, can capable to deal real example project on their own only. He will not be dependent to, he or she will not be dependent to anyone, right? And with that, after that, we are going to proceed with the advanced level. And in advanced level, what we are going to cover, all the advanced topics we are going to cover, that is not covered in the intermediate level and beginner level. Here we are going to talk about the stiffness, ductility and strength. What does the stiffness, ductility and strength? Actually, this is the major property of the structure, so that you can ensure that stability of the structure. How to decide the column position, beam position, orientation, sizes for high-rise structure, not the intermediate or not the medium rise or low rise. For the high rise 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 floor building, if suppose you are going to design, how to decide the sizes, how to decide the positions of the beam, column, orientation, by ensuring the stiffness, ductility and strength. These are very important. Overall stability of the structure will be depends on these three things. What is the definition of them, and how to control this by positioning of the column and shear wall and beam, by choosing the right material property, everything. Then how to do the calculation of the earthquake load, how to do the calculation of the wind load. Like if you are going to deal with the tall structure, so your earthquake load and wind load plays an important role. If you are going to deal with the low rise structure, Okay, no, that is not much a big issue. Lot of things are there. Okay, don't ask question whether needed to consider for G+5 building earthquake or not, wind or not. Please don't ask this question. I will discuss that all in our training program in detail. Okay, but I would like to say that if you are going to deal with the tall structure, so for tall structure, your lateral load plays an important role in the instability of the structure. So how to control that? How to control that? So here, what is that? How to do the calculation for the earthquake load? We will let you know manually first. Everything we will let you know by proof. Dummy thing we are not going to do. Dummy action we are not going to take. So we will let you know how to do the manual calculation for the earthquake load, for the wind load. Okay, we are having excellent level of Excel sheets as I earlier told you. So for the high-rise structure, how to do the calculation of the wind load as per the 875/2015 IS code. After doing this calculation, how to implement that values in the Etabs software, we will let you know. What does mean the static method? What does mean the dynamic method? When it is needed to consider the static method? When it is needed to consider the dynamic method? For low-rise structure, whether static is sufficient or not, whether dynamic is sufficient or not, or also whether that decision for static and dynamic, whether it is dependent with the height of structure or not, whether it is dependent on the number of stories or not. Many times the people are asking, sir, I am going to deal with the G+7 floor building. It is okay if suppose I am going to perform static method only. I am going to deal with the G+12 floor building. It is needed to consider the dynamic loading or not. It is needed to consider only earthquake loading. It is needed to consider wind loading. It is needed to calculate the loads manually or by taking the help of Etabs software. What to do? So people are actually confused about that. Why? It is because they have not properly taken the guidance from the expert, right? Thereafter, we are going to talk in detail about the modal analysis. What does mean the modal analysis? How this modal analysis will help you to rectify your framing. Your modal analysis will help you to rectify your framing. Whatever the framing you have decided, column position, beam position, these were the preliminary position. How you can rectify that with the modal analysis. And lot of things are there, my dear friend, to discuss about the basic concepts and its implementation in the Etabs software and correcting of your model in respect of the analysis results of this modal analysis. Okay, so modal analysis, mode shapes, complex modes, what is the modal testing, normal modes, complicated modes, everything we are going to talk. Fundamental time period and frequency, how they are going to consider. Okay, what code is recommending, how to implement it in the software as per the codal recommendation. Thereafter, we are going to perform the modal analysis, and this modal analysis will help you to know the whether your structure is torsionally regular or irregular. In high-rise structure or in advanced level, we are giving more focus towards the stability of structure. Torsional irregularity, regularity, irregularity. Okay, deflection control, stress control, story drift control. Lot of things we are going to cover in this level. Okay. Thereafter, what we are going to talk, we are also going to cover about the concept of meshing. What does mean by the meshing? Why it is needed to do the meshing? What will be the impact on your structure if you are going to do the meshing? Whether it is needed to do the meshing for the slab only, for the beam only. What will happen if you are going to do for the slab? What will happen if you are going to do for the beam? What is the concept of what I can say? What is the concept of diaphragm? What is the concept of diaphragm? Why it is needed to consider the diaphragm? What will happen if suppose I am not going to assign the diaphragm? Whether it is needed to assign the diaphragm when the structure is subjected to only gravitational load, or it is needed to assign when the structure is subjected to lateral load, or in both situations is needed to assign. So lot of questions the beginners are actually having. Okay, what is the load combination? Very important, very interesting part. What is the load combination for the low rise structure, for the high rise structure? Okay, for gravitational loading only, for lateral loading only. What will be the load combination? What is the load envelope? How to whether needed to consider the load envelope or not? What will be the impact on the envelope of the loads? Load combination. How many number of load combination will be? Now, concept of property modifier. Further, so the load combination, there are different concepts are associated with this load combination. Okay, so that we are trying to cover in our training program in detail. Thereafter, the concept of property modifier. As per the ISO 16700. What? As per the ISO code 1600/2017. This is the code for the tall structure, for the high-rise structure. So this code is specially recommending to consider the property modifier concept, stiffness modifier concept. Okay, and it is recommended to implement in your design model, in your proposed structure. So that we are going to consider in our training for our proposed structure. We are going to implement the concept of property modifier, and thereafter we are going to perform the stability checks against the torsion, deflection, everything we are going to cover in this training program. And in this way we are going to cover this tall structure, high-rise structure. And this high-rise structure, why we have taken this high-rise structure? Because if you are going to work in any metropolitan cities, or if suppose you are assigned for the high-rise structure in future, so you should not you should be able to deal that project. So intermediate level also, in medium, for medium rise structure you can deal the project, for tall structure also you can deal the project. So all different types of the projects you can complete. Okay, so we will let you know how to check the maximum story displacement. Maximum displacement we are going to check in both, and there we are going to do the scaling of the base shear. Now what does mean by the scaling of the base shear? People are sometimes asking, what does mean by the scaling of base shear? Why it is needed to consider the scaling of base shear? Okay, so this is as per the codal recommendation. When you are going to consider the static analysis as well as dynamic analysis. So if you are dynamic, if the variation in the design analysis results you are getting, and lot of things are also there, in that situation we have to scale the base shear value to match the results. Okay, so that also we are going to cover in our training program. Okay, so this is what the finally we are completing all these three levels: beginner level, intermediate level, and advanced level. All these three levels we are going to cover in this training program. And those who are going to join this training program, after the completion of this training program, we are trying to build your design portfolio, so that we are providing the project completion report to all the participants. We are providing the project completion report with your name and your qualifications, and with all of your details. We are representing you that you have completed this project through this training program. So those who are pursuing their bachelor, masters, those who are new in the field of structural design, and also those who want to change their career from site engineer to the design engineer, it is going to be helped. Okay, so try to understand, we are building your skills, we are building your profile also with a real concept, with the real things, not a dummy projects we are going to cover. Okay, so this complete project report we are going to provide. So through this training program, what you are going to get? You are going to get the live support on real example project. Live support on real example project. We will provide the Excel sheet also. We are going to provide the practical book of guide. Okay, thereafter after the completion of this training program, we will provide the ISO certification, government approved certificate we are going to provide. Plus we are going to provide the project completion report. And if these all things, software you are getting, knowledge you are getting, real projects you are getting your profile being as builder, you are getting the certifications, everything you are getting. So what your destination, your destination will be bright. You will get your desired job. You will you can start your own firm, your own consultancy, right? So this is what the objective of this training program. Now most of you all are curious about what will be the fee of this training program. What will be the fee of this training program? So my dear friend, first of all, we are trying to understand the market. So in market, what people are actually charging, try to understand. If you are going to see in the market, so people are actually talking about the basic things: software commands, software interface. Even that also not going to be covered. In that also they are not going to cover validation of the software, and they are going to charge for that about 8 to 20,000. How many of you are agree with this? If you are going to find any training center nearby you, they are charging about 8 to 20,000. Yes, somehow they may be 5,000, but yeah, it will be ranging from 8 to 20,000. But they are going to talk about only the beginner level. Even that also not going to be covered in detail. Agree or not? Yeah, CAD center, they are okay. Don't take any name, please. Don't take any name. Just write. Please don't take any name. Okay. So you can realize this thing. They are charging about 8 to 20,000, and they are going to talk about these basic things only. And okay, so if suppose if you are able to find any person, those who are going to discuss real example things, real projects with a real concepts, they are going to charge about 1 lakh rupees. This is a real thing I am sharing with you. After market research, you can you go and you can research on your own also. And if you are going to find any person who is going to deliver all the advanced things, okay, for the tall structures, and they are asking about the price for that, charge for that, more than 1 lakh rupees. But my dear friend, in our training program, for all that things, where we are going to cover the live classes, recording, practice material, study material, we will also provide the software installation support, okay, book of practical guides, okay, certification of training completion, ISO, a project completion report. What things what thing is actually remaining, everything we have completed. You just have to take the effort and build your career. Okay, so for that, for this complete training, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, everything with all the materials and facilities, we are going to provide these complete things in just of 5,999. In just of 5,999. Understood? So that's a fantastic for you all guys if you are going to join this training program. Okay, so in just of this amount, we are going to start this training program. Okay, no one will give you these things, I am guaranteeing you. Okay, no one will give you. Okay, 5,999 only. And again, I'm going to repeat, this training is going to start from 9th of May 2024. Session timing will be evening 7:30 to 9, and training fee will be 5,999 only. There will be a live class and it's recording also. What will be the concept? Try to understand. Suppose today is our class, so once we complete the class, after the completion of the class, you will get your recording, and that recording will be available with you with lifetime. So it doesn't mean whether you are attending, it is not dependent on whether you are attending the session or not. Irrespective of that, you will get the recording. If you are attending, that's a good thing. If you are not attending, still you will get the recording, and that recording is going to be added, and at the end you will get all the session in your panel, so you can watch that session throughout your lifetime access we are going to provide. Okay, and we will talk about the real example project certification. You will be connected with us every time. This is what the training program. Okay, now how you will get enrolled in this training program? So check the chat box. So the enrollment link is there. Once you click over that, you will land to a course page, and there you can click over the buy course for 5,999. You will complete your enrollment. Hurry up, the enrollment has been started. Okay, hurry up. Otherwise, you can visit to our website, Strucsoft Center. Once you visit this website, you will land to this particular page. You have to click on this button next to this update, and once you click over this, you will land to this course page. This is actually our course landing page, and here the button is given to buy course for 5,999. You have to click over this and you will get enrolled in this training program. So hurry up, people are actually visiting this page and doing their registration. Hurry up, complete this. If you are really interested to join this training program, hurry up. All the things that we are going to cover in this training program we have completed. Now it's your time. You can ask your doubts and question here. No, steel structure part is a different thing. Okay, steel structure part is different thing. We are having another program for the steel structure. Okay, so that is another part of discussion. Yeah, ductile detailing will also discuss in this training program. I will let you know overview of this ductile detailing. Hurry up, hurry up. Training is going to be start by 9th of May. Registration has been started. What to do only? You have to find the link in the description. Okay, course registration link is there. Once you click over that, if you have any doubt and question, you can ask, please.